Hi. Hello, everyone. It has been a while since I've done an Instagram Live, so I thought it would be a good idea to jump on and talk about lockdown with the incredible Michelle Bowditch. I'm very much looking forward to her joining, and we are going to bring her through now. Una momento. We will get it. We'll see her appear in a second. Hopefully. Hi!
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
It's Thursday, the week is nearly over, but I'm excited to be. I'm going okay.
Good. I was going to say we've had COVID numbers released, which we are not going to focus on the bad stuff. But I hope you are doing okay, and I hope everyone else is doing okay. Lots of scary numbers out and about. And you and I think we're just going to be in lockdown for all of eternity, it feels like.
No. I will be in Melbourne before Christmas, and we can go for a walk or a cup of tea. Cross my fingers.
Done.
I'm fully vaccinated, so I'm ready to travel. And Gladys tells me the fully vaccinated in New South Wales are going to be rewarded. So.
Oh, exciting. Well, fingers crossed.
I know.
Now, firstly, thank you so much, Mish, for agreeing to jump on this live. Last week, I think it was last week, we lined it up because I thought it'd be a really good idea for you and I to jump on to talk through really staying productive while working from home. It's something that not just EAs, but everyone is facing at the moment. And it can be really tricky navigating because there are very few boundaries. Because your home is now your office, and it feels like your work is 24/7. So I wanted us to talk through that, and I think you have such a strong set of skills in that zone, and I thought you were the perfect person to do that. So thank you, Mish, for joining.
Well, I want to say to everyone that's listening live now and also recording is to remember that not one box fits all when it comes to working from home. So the way that I do it versus the way you do it is very, very different. And I think, we can read so many things, whether it be on a newsletter, social media, or whatever, about how someone's working from home and how fantastic it is. I think we have to do it day by day because I know there's working mothers on this call, things could collapse at work. And I think we've just got to be, the thing that I have learned, especially in lockdown versus 2020, is to take each day as it comes and to have patience. And this is really, all we can do. So the way that I do things may not necessarily work for you, Nick, or for someone else. But, I'd love to share some tips with you today about it. But I think we've just patient and kind, because I'm finding at the moment, especially in the admin community, that a lot of EAs, PAs are burning out, and they are working harder and longer than ever before. And I'm just going, slaps at it. Why is that happening? And I think we have to put strict rules in place. And as you say, we've got to be able to say no more and also set those boundaries. That is really, really important because we can't juggle. We're not superhuman. We've got lots of superpowers, but we aren't superhuman yet. So, I think it's the boundaries are really, really important. And, I spoke to someone yesterday, and they sat for 12 hours on Zoom calls all day. Now, I'm sorry, but that is not super healthy. And seriously, how can we?
It's not. That is not a good use of time. It's also exhausting. That's really, really, really tough. That is not a situation. But I totally agree. And one thing so I want to sort of reiterate what you just mentioned, Michelle, that there is not one sort of solution that will fit everyone. So why I thought it would be really good for the two of us to get on is because I know that we have differing styles around this. And to see that there are differences in the advice that we give and what works really well for us. And people can pick and choose what's been working. So are you able to share with us, so what do you do, Mish, to keep yourself productive while working from home? And obviously you've done homework, like working from home pre-COVID. So you were still doing the majority of your office
Yeah.
is predominantly at home, right? So how do you manage to keep yourself productive while you're at home? What does that look like?
So a couple of key things. Well, first of all, in this lockdown, I moved my bedroom into the lounge room and my lounge room into the bedroom. Yeah, I reversed the two. So what I've done is we don't have a lounge room now. We've created a media room, and I've got teenage kids. But my lounge room was my biggest house, and I needed an office that I could walk in and walk out and close it off, because my biggest problem, and for a lot of people, is we're at the dining table or we're in the office with the kids and things like that. So that was the first thing that I did during this lockdown. So I had this massive, my bedroom feels like it's a hotel room, and then my office is now down, and it's kind of a couple things for me is I walk every day, and this lockdown I went into thinking it was going to be 2 weeks, and I'm 71 days later. So I'm trying every day to exercise, and hitting the 20,000 steps. There's been 2 days that I haven't hit 20,000 steps. And for my guys in Brisbane, I said to them last week, hey guys, I've just hit Brisbane. I'm leaving you now and I'm heading back to Byron. So it's a bit of a joke, but we made fun of it. So exercise is really important for me. The other thing is getting up and moving. So if we're in back-to-back meetings, just prior to this, I went outside. The sun is shining here. It's a beautiful day in Sydney, and I just got some fresh air, because it's that movement piece. And you know that one of my beautiful friends is Lizzie Wood, does 2-minute moves, and you can be anywhere and just do something. So for me, getting up and moving and doing that. The other thing is having clear breaks during my day in my diary. So I'm setting myself an appointment. And lastly, the thing for me, and I love tech and communication, and I hate email inbox. So what I've been doing this lockdown is only sending an email for the absolute essential items, and I'm communicating on it. So if someone sends me an email and it is non-critical, as I call it, I don't actually respond as an email. I'll send them a voice to text, I'll send them an Instagram DM, I'll send them something via LinkedIn. And that is a quicker process to get an answer to what they're chasing than sitting there and going, dear Nick, thanks for your email. And my inbox is zero every day. So I encourage those. Yeah, I know. So I want to encourage those of you out there, if your inbox is out of control, why is it out of control? And think about different ways to communicate. If it is a quick 2-second response, hit like you text me something this morning and just was text back with a thumbs up. We love emojis and things like that. Just communicating a different way, because we get bogged down in the wrong things and not the right things, and we really want to be super productive. And I also would like to say to the admin, this is particularly the admin community out there, our role changes from home, and I'm going to be bluntly honest, the strategic functions of what we used to do may not appear at the moment, and that is okay. And we've back into a transactional function, but we have to figure out how to navigate in a space that we haven't been used to, or doing things the way we haven't been used to. So I think just be kind, that kindness piece, I meditate most days anyway, and that was a really hard thing for me. But walking, getting up and moving regularly, having regular breaks, and also looking at the style of the way that you're communicating with others. Just because they sent you an email doesn't mean you have to respond with an email.
100%.
So that's my little, what about you, Nick? What do you?
So first of all, I love those. Mine are similar but slightly different. So I'm a big fan of a routine. So I think it's really important that we have a set routine for our work days in particular. So way back, what feels like 12 years ago, but really it was just lockdown 1, I really struggled with that transition so going from the office to home, and I found myself working. I was logging on when I woke up, and I'd eat breakfast and then start emailing it at sort of 6:45, and then all of a sudden it would be 6 p.m. and I'd still be kind of working away, and it's like, what am I doing? I don't do that in the office. I don't sit at my desk for that, and I wasn't getting up. And so instantly I sort of implemented a regular routine. So I get up, my routine now, and I've had 6 lockdowns to perfect this now. So I now get up in the morning. My alarm goes off at 5:30. I'm a morning person. I know not everyone is. But I get up, I go for a walk, I come back, I shower, I have breakfast. And then I log on to work at the same time that I would get to work when I'm in the office.
Great.
So I sit down, I know, so 7:30 is that time. So I usually get to the office at 7:30. So I log in at 7:30. I make sure that by 9 o'clock, I've gotten out of my seat, I've made myself a coffee, I've walked out, we've got like a little courtyard, which is just behind me. I walk out there, have a sip of my coffee, get some fresh air with my mask off because I'm in my courtyard. But it's that, and I know I've got that. And then I've got lunch at the same time every day. And then the afternoon, I make sure, and this is probably the number one tip that I've been giving people, Mish, which is do an exercise or an activity that represents to you that your workday has finished. So for me, that is taking the dog for a walk, or going out for another quick walk myself, or playing music, or having a dance around the house, whatever it is, who cares? But set yourself up something that is regular, that it signifies to your brain, work is done. Yeah. And now, obviously, for the admin community, so EAs like myself, it doesn't necessarily mean it is like done, but it means you don't have to be located in front of your computer at past, say, 5 o'clock or whenever you would normally leave work. Yeah. I think having that routine in place is really important. The other thing that I will say, and this is something I've learned, and it echoes what you've just said, Mish, giving yourself breaks is really important. Yeah. So other than those sort of routine things that I was just saying, if people are asking to catch up with me via Zoom, or I'm being asked to join certain meetings, I'm shifting stuff. So I've got at least half an hour between Zoom meetings. Yeah. And sure, that half an hour probably isn't that productive, but you don't have to be productive the whole time. And that's kind of the last point that I want to make. Even though this is about being productive at home while you're working from home, you don't have to be productive. Actually, the most productive thing you can do for yourself is to have big chunks of time where you're not productive, where you're giving yourself a break, that you're able to relax your brain, you're able to just chill and do whatever you want, because then that way it allows you to be super productive when you kick back into that gear. Yeah. Right? So that's my thing.
You are super true. And I think that's got a lot to do with habit forming. What you first said, how do we form habits? And I think a lot, I'll stick my hand up and say, I've created some bad habits while working from home. And it's just because, my kids, both of my tradies are back working now, but when they were home the last weeks, every 2 seconds, Mum, I'm hungry. So I'm sure there's a lot of working from home mothers with the kids at home homeschooling, and those constant interruptions. So when that was happening, I had a short day. But if I didn't, then what I did is I was forming these unhealthy habits that weren't good. And like you have to have regular lunch breaks. I was naughty yesterday, Nick, because I had a busy day and I didn't have lunch until 3 p.m. That is so bad. So bad. And I was starving.
That is so bad.
But I think we have to be, and if the other thing I was going to say, if all goes to shit, and excuse my French, if all goes to shit, it's okay. Because I've walked myself to bed at 7 p.m. at night and my kids laugh at me and say, Mum, are you seriously going to bed this early? But I just had a day that I just can't deal with anything. I'm blocking off the world. All my technology devices are off. And I was just going to say one little, it sounds really silly, but for me, when I close my laptop down and turn off my desktop, that's the signal that my office is closed. Now, I've still got my Apple Watch, and what I do is before I close off for the day, I subconsciously turn off all the notifications that I don't get and leave the ones on that I do.
Yeah, perfect. And that's exactly what, and that is exactly what I mean by having a routine at the end to signify that your work is finished. Yeah. I hear people, and this story of people working these ungodly hours while working from home because they think that's what they need to do to be productive, and that's not what it's about at all. Yeah. My job is busy. I am busy, as are a lot of other people, and so finding time to stop and take a breather is actually really important, and to have those routines in place. So totally agree. Now, please, if you're watching this, pop a question. If you've got any questions, we'll be on for about another 5-ish minutes, maybe a bit longer, but pop them in the comments if you've got any questions of anything specific that you want us to target. Also, if you're watching the replay of this, comment if you've got any questions, and Mish and I will be able to go through the comments and we can add our 2 cents. But Mish, one thing I wanted to ask you, this is particularly a point of view that you can have because you've got kids. I don't have kids. I've just got a sausage dog who's fast asleep in the corner. Is how do kids affect that productivity or that ability to set routines? Because I imagine it is extremely difficult with kids. I mean, obviously the age is a factor in that, but
yeah, honestly, you cannot. If anyone says they're working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and doing homeschooling perfectly, well, come on, tell me your superpowers and how you do it, because you can't do it. And you know, a few times it's like, you know, you can start your day structured, and then if it all crap and the kids are not, you know, they don't want to do their mathletics, or one doesn't want to go into the English classroom because they haven't read the book, then, you know, that's okay. And, you know, in Sydney, we are fortunate at the moment because the weather's beautiful. So go outside. I mean, Nick, I know I'm a little bit older than you, but in the old days, we had no technology and no TV, and I didn't grow up watching TV. We were in the back paddock, you know, getting the chocos and throwing them at the creek, or we were eating the blueberries and coming home and staying in our face. And we had no sense of time. You know, when the sun came down, we knew we had to come. So I think we've got to go back to the basics. I mean, you know, I'm seeing so many people, you know, their gardens, you know, their fun activities outside. We've got to, you know, what did our grandma do? What's one wise thing our Nan or Pop would say to us about what they did in the old days? Remember those old days? And I think this is what COVID's doing for us. So if it does all fall to shit, you know, if someone wants you, you know, like I'm lucky with my Apple Watch. So if my phone rings and it's urgent, I can answer it from wherever. But if I don't want to answer, I just don't have to answer it. I don't have to carry. And so I think it's hard. Look, it is hard. And I spoke to a lady this morning. She's out in Western New South Wales. They are obviously in lockdown as well. She's got 3 children under 6. She's trying to run a business. And what she's had to do now is that she's had to basically stop and say to her customers, I can't supply you and service you the way I want to. I will be online this time, and that's it. Because she can't do everything. And I think this is the thing is, you know, mental health is alive and kicking. We know that. We have to be kind to ourselves. And, you know, I don't know, social media is social media. You know, reality versus what is actually going on can be some 2 different things. So just, you know, working to juggling kids, just be kind, and, you know, slow and steady always wins the race, as my grandma said. And if you need to get in the kitchen and bake, teach your kids how to, you know, cook. I mean, my middle son, 15, and I was in the kitchen the other day and I teach him how to cook an egg. Now, that's very bad, I know, and I should get that. But, like, we've got that time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's good. And I think that's such great advice, Mish. Thanks for that. And I just want to read, we've had a couple of things come through. So Jess mentioned that she's been struggling with that loss of connection while being at home, which is a huge thing, and something that we could actually talk about as a full separate topic, I think, for quite a bit. So we may park that.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah. But that is a big thing at the moment, and has been a big thing for most of COVID. And just a very quick tip for me is video call people. If you've got people that you're super connected with, that you love wholly, and you don't care if they see you in your worst state, just video call them. Say, are you up for a video call? And you can FaceTime. I find that really good because you want to be able to see people's expressions and get that connection. So that's my one tip, but there's huge amounts of things that Mish and I could talk about. The other thing, so Catherine asked about polite wording or not responding to late emails or just reply in the morning. Now, I'm going to take this one first. I don't reply. Although, no, sometimes that's a lie. I reply, but I schedule send. So I will send the email for the time that my work commences. So if I see a quick email at night, unless it's sent by my boss, who we have a very good relationship, I will write back to her straight away. But anyone else, I will hit reply and hit schedule send, and it'll go at like 7:34 or 7:42 or something, so that it's teaching people, no, these are the times that you're going to get me. So, Catherine, that's what I would do.
It's your boundary time. Like you're saying, I think that's a good one to schedule. I often, if I've got a prickly person, as I call them, that won't wait till the morning, I just send them a voice message and say, hey, Nick, saw your email. I've just gotten off for the day. You'll be first on my list tomorrow morning. And the prickly
perfect.
doesn't get prickly. But I'm not going into my emails and sending them a voice or a... So, yeah, I think it's...
I love that. That is actually a really good idea. I should do that because that's not something that I currently do, Mish. So good one. Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's lots of good comments in here around kindness costs nothing. We put too much pressure on ourselves. Stop comparing our insides with others' outsides. That is a great, that is a very good one. I really love that comment.
Kylie. Is it Kylie that did that? No, someone else.
Coffee with Ken. Very good comment. Stop comparing our insides with others' outsides. That deserves to be on an Instagram post. So that is a very good one. Okay, so Kat's happy with that. If you've got any other questions, please make sure you post them below. I would love to do more of these kind of lunchtime lockdown lives. I know, Mish, you would also love to do that. And so...
sure, up your time.
Exactly. So, and I think it's a nice thing to kind of share what we can and just connect. And it's nice to connect live with people. It's lovely.
Well, have an incredible day.
You too.
Oh,
enjoy. I hope you enjoy the weather. We've also got a beautiful day. I think it's 25 degrees today, but it's windy as hell. So if you're in Melbourne, hold on for dear life if you go outside. But thank you again, Mish, so much. I loved our little short, sharp live. It was brilliant.
Yeah. And I'll talk to you soon. And thanks everyone for joining in. And I'll jump on some messages there as well once it's loaded up on your IGTV. Have a great day.
See you, everyone.
Bye.